All right. So good afternoon, students. We were solving a problem. All right. So we have determined the vapor pressure of a 12 vein as 527.39 torr. Right. Torr. Now LNPB, that is the vapor pressure of benzene. Right. Equal to, this is equal to, right, equal to 15 right, this equation, right, this equation, right. So let I am writing here. So is equal, this is equal to, right, 15.9008 at minus 2788.51 divided by, right, temperature 371.4 Kelvin. I'm not writing Kelvin. Okay. Minus, right, 52.36, right. So this is equal to 15. If you calculate this, right, then you will get equal to 7.16, right, 7.16, right. So now PVB, right, vapor pressure of benzene is equal to exponential 7.16, which is equal to at 1287, at 1287 torr, right. Now we have to check this condition. We have to check this condition whether the summation of xi pvi divided by pt is equal to 1 or no, right. So pt is it is atmospheric pressure. It is already mentioned in the problem statement, right, standard atmosphere, right, right. So pt can be multiplied here, that because it is a constant, it is under a summation, right. This is under a sum, right, it is under summation. Make sure this is under summation, right. But as pt is constant, we can multiply here, we can take common, right, take common, right, because this is a summation. So pt will be in all the terms, all the terms. This is a summation. So we take this 1 upon pt common and we can multiply here. Okay. So it is 1 atmosphere. Okay. Then now we have summation of xi pvi is should be 1, right. So let's check it. Right. Now summation of, okay, this is already we have calculated, right. We already calculated PVB, that is equal to at 1287 torr, right. Now summation of xi p into bi, which is equal to, first for benzene, so its mole fraction is 0.4 and its vapor pressure is 1287, at 1287, right, plus now second component is 12 in. Now mole fraction is 0.6, because benzene 0.4, then 12 in is 0.6, and its vapor pressure we already calculated, right. We already calculated vapor pressure as 527.39. So you will get, this is equal to, we get 31.5, right? Torr, right? This is torr, right? But it should be, right? It uh, should be say 1 atmosphere, right? It should be 1 atmosphere, right? That is 760 torr. The condition is not satisfied. That is, it is not equal to, right? Not equal to 760 torr, right? It is higher, right? It is higher, right? That means this vapor pressure should be less, right? Vapor pressure should be less. Then only it comes towards 760. All right. That means vapor pressure is function of temperature. That means bubble point temperature should be less, right? It should be less bubble point temperature. That means this 98.4 Kelvin. Okay, it is not a bubble point temperature, right? Not temperature, right? So what we can do, we can assume the temperature, okay, less than 98.4, right? Let's say we are assuming 97, right? Then you determine PV, right, using the same equation, right? Using the same equation, satisfy this condition. This is a just trial and error, right? This is a just trial and error, right? So we have to check at which temperature, right? At which temperature this summation of Xi PVI becomes 760 torr. That we need to check, right? So right, by trial and error method, right? By, let me write, by trial and error method, right? Trial and method, right? At P is equal to, right, at temperature, right, 95.3 degrees centigrade, right? Then you convert into Kelvin, you put into, and convert into Kelvin, you put into this equations, right? You determine vapor pressure, right? Determine vapor pressure, right? Check this condition, right? Check this condition whether it is satisfied or not, right? So at 95.3 degrees centigrade, we get, right? Right? Vapor pressure of benzene equal to, right, 1181.7 torr, right? And PV toluene, right? Vapor pressure of toluene is equal to, right, 479, right, 0.1 torr, right? Then you check this condition, and you check the condition, right? That is summation of, right, Xi PVI equal to, right, 0.4 mole fraction of benzene into vapor pressure, that is 1181.7 plus 0.6 multiplied by 479.1, right? And you will get this is equal to, right, 760.1 atmosphere, right? Which is same, considered as a nearly equal to 760, right? At this temperature. That means your bubble point temperature is 95.3 degree centigrade, right? Bubble point temperature, is equal to 95.3 degree centigrade. All right. So now we have to determine the Q, right? Q, right? So here Q is equal to, so let me write here this bubble point temperature. This is equal to 95.3, right? 95.3, right? So we have to determine the lambda here, right? Lambda, latent heat of vaporization of mixture, right? Mixture, right? But here we have a mixture of two substances, right? Having different composition, right? And each component having its own latent heat of vaporization, right? So here we have lambda is equal to summation of xi into individual lambda, right? Individual lambda, right? So this is equal to 0 equal to 0.4. This is for benzene multiplied by latent heat of vaporization of benzene is given. Let's see, right? Latent heat of vaporization of benzene at bubble point temperature is 391.3, right? Right? Here it is, right? 391.3, right? This is for benzene plus toluene. Now it is 0.6, right? Multiply by, right, latent heat of vaporization of toluene. So how much is given? 34666, right? 34666.7 kilojoule per kilomole, and multiply by 34667.3666.7, sorry, 6.7. That is for 12, right? So now latent heat of vaporization of feed becomes, right, lambda becomes, right, lambda now becomes, lambda is equal to, you will get 3256.5 kilojoule per kilomole, right? So we have already found a lambda. Now next is the CPL, right? Lambda we have calculate कर दिया. CPL is nothing but the specific heat of liquid mixture, right? Liquid mixture, right? And specific heat is given, right? Specific heat is also given, right? So we can write, right? Specific heat of benzene at average temperature is 146.96, right? So I'm writing here, right? CPL is equal to summation of xi, right, into CPL into I, right? So this is equal to this is equal to 0.4 mole fraction of benzene multiplied by specific heat of benzene, that is 146.96 plus 0.6 multiplied by 173.33. So we will get this equal to 162.6 0.78 kilojoule per kilomole into centigrade, right? So CPM also we have found. Now substitute all this value, right? Substitute all these values, right, in this equation, right? So now Q becomes, right, Q is equal to lambda plus CPL, temperature of bubble point temperature minus temperature of feed divided by lambda. This is equal to lambda. We have already calculated 32,556 at 556.654 at plus CPL, right, 162.78, right, bubble point temperature, that is 95.3 minus feed temperature 30 degree, right, 30 divided by lambda, which is 32,556, right, 0.55, right? So you will get Q is equal to 1.3265, right? 3265, right? Now you can substitute this Q is equal to 1.3265, right, in this equation, right, main equation, this equation, right, this equation, all right. But as you can see, this is somewhat calculated, what we say, complicated equation, right? So you need to rearrange this equation, right? You need to rearrange this equation, right? And by trial and error, right? Trial and error, you have to find this value, right? Value of RM, right? So by trial and error, right? By trial and error, right, we get RM, right? RM is equal to 1.67, right? 1.67, right? When feed is at 30 degrees centigrade, right? We already determined RM is equal to 1.95 when feed is at saturated liquid, right? Saturated liquid, right? So this is the end of sum. Now we will solve a problem of multi-component distillation, right? So let's first see the problem statement. Right? A distillation column is to separate 4750 mole per hour of feed, right? Composed of 37% N-butane, right? 32%, right? N-pentane. I think this is isopentane. Sorry, this is isopentane. Right? 32% isopentane, 21% N-pentane, right, and 10% N-hexane, right? So we have a feed which contains four component, right? Four component, and these are the percentage, okay, mole percent, right? Mole percent are given, right? Now the column operates an average pressure of 2 atmosphere. Okay, we already, it is already provided that pressure is 2 atmosphere, right, and will produce a distillate product containing 95% N-butane and 5% isopentane. Again, this is the isopentane. Let me correct here. It's a what happened? Let me write directly, right? Isopentane, right? And the bottom product is allowed to contain not more than 570 moles per hour of N-butane, right? Use Underwood's method to determine minimum reflux ratio, right, required for separation, right? Now feed is 25% by mole, right? Vapor. Feed कितना है? 25% vapor है, right? Also assume ideal vapor liquid equilibrium, right? All composition are in mole percentage, right? Mole percentage, right? Also determine number of theoretical stages required by FUG method, right? We have already seen the FUG method, right? So let me show first a distillation column. So this is the distillation column, right? So here in the feed, we have four components, right? That is N-butane. This is in feed, right? I-pentane. This is isopentane, right? And then N-pentane, right? And N-hexane, right? N-hexane. Now we know it is mentioned in problem that the distillate produces 95% N-butane, right? 95% N-butane, right? N-butane, right? And 5%, right? Iso, right? 5% isopentane, right? Isopentane, right? And bottom product, right? Bottom product is allowed to contain no more than 570 mole per hour of N-butane. Bottom product, we have 570, right? 570 moles per hour, mole per hour, right? Moles per hour, right? 570, right? Then pressure is given, right? And this feed is also given, right? Feed is also given, right? This composition, I'm not writing this composition, right? I will take directly from the statement, right? But the F is given, feed rate is given, that is 4750 mole per hour, right? Mole per hour, right? Now we have to determine the first minimum reflux ratio, right, by using the Underwood equation, right? By using the Underwood equation, right? And we know the Underwood equation, right? The Underwood's equation are, right? Underwood, right? Underwood's equation, right? Summation of alpha I, and alpha I into X ID, right, divided by alpha I, right, alpha I into V is equal to, right, Rm plus 1, right, and summation of alpha I into Z IF, right, divided by, right, alpha I minus V, which is equal to 1 minus Q, right? 1 minus Q, right? So using this equation, first we will determine this is V. We will determine first Q. Can we substitute okay, sorry, not Q, but first we will determine Q, and using this equation, we will determine this V, and we will substitute here to determine minimum reflux ratio, right? And right, so here alpha I, right, alpha is nothing but the relative volatility of I component with heavy key component, right, with the heavy key component, right? I think you already studied this one, right? Alpha is the average relative volatility of each component, I for each component, right, with respect to heavy key components, right? Then XID, right, this XID, which is nothing but the mole fraction of I component, right, I component in distillate, right, divided by alpha alpha I, right, alpha I, right, that is the mole fraction of component I in this is the mole fraction of, sorry, relative, same, alpha is same as the this one, right, relativity of individual component with respect to heavy key component, right? V is the constant, right? This is the constant, right? So ZIF is nothing with the F for feed, and ZI is the a mole fraction of individual component, right? Mole fraction of individual component in feed, right? In feed, right? So as it requires the we have to first decide heavy key component and light key component, right? Heavy key component and light key component, right? So there are certain criteria, right? Certain criteria by choosing heavy key component and light key component, right? And I have already mentioned it, right? Now, what are the criteria, right? For light key component, right? For right, light, right? For light key, right, component, right? So it should be, right, it should be in top product, right? Right, and also it has, right, has, right, uh, it has significant concentration in bottom product, right, bottom product, right? So you can see that this N-butane, right, this N-butane, right, in N-butane it is found in top product as well as in bottom product. This is the flow rate of, I think, N-butane, right? N-butane, right? You can see here the bottom product is allowed to contain not more than 570, right, kilomole per hour N-butane, right? And top product contain 95% N-butane, right? So let's say N-butane is as a light key component, right? N-butane, right? Light key component, light key component N-butane, right? And for the heavy key component, right, we cannot take, right? We cannot take this. We cannot take this N-butane as pentane, right? This N-pentane and N-hexane as a light component or heavy key component. We cannot take. Right? We cannot take this as a any either light key component or heavy key component. Why? Because this both components must be in top product as well as the bottom product. If we have to choose this as a light key or heavy key component, right? But you can see in the top product, right? You can see in the top product, it do not contains any this N-pentane or N-hexane. यहाँ पे टॉप में आप में N-pentane भी नहीं है और N-hexane भी नहीं है, ठीक है? तो वो कहाँ होगा? बॉटम में जाएगा. जो फीड में, जो भी फीड में है इतना, वो कहाँ जाएगा? बॉटम प्रोडक्ट में जाएगा आपका, सिर्फ बॉटम प्रोडक्ट में, राइट? बट अगर आपको लाइट की और हेवी की कंपोनेंट चूज करना है, ठीक है, तो लाइट की कंपोनेंट है वो टॉप में ज्यादा होना चाहिए, बट सर्टेन अमाउंट बॉटम में भी होना चाहिए, बॉटम में भी होना चाहिए, राइट? सिमिलरली हेवी की कंपोनेंट वो आपका मेजॉरिटी बॉटम में होना चाहिए, राइट? एंड इट आल्सो इन टॉप प्रोडक्ट में सिग्निफिकेंट अमाउंट में टॉप प्रोडक्ट में होना चाहिए. तो ये आइसोपेंटेन है, आइसोपेंटेन, राइट? वो आपका टॉप में भी है 5%, तो बाकी क्या कहाँ होगा? आपका बॉटम प्रोडक्ट में होगा, राइट? बॉटम प्रोडक्ट में. दैट्स व्हाई वी टेक दिस heavy key component as isopentane, right? So light key component is N-butane and heavy key component which is equal to pentane, right? I-pentane, okay? So let's first find, we do the material balance first, right? Then we will determine the mole fraction of distillate, right, and residue, right? So doing and overall material balance, right? Now let's say this is feed F, which is already mentioned, right? Let's say this is the distillate, is the D, right? Mole per hour, right? And W is the residue mole per hour. W is the total flow rate of bottom product, is the residue, right? But it should contain 570 mole per hour and butane, right? Right? So doing overall balance, we know that input is equal to output. So input is equal to F and output is, which is equal to D plus W, right? Now, as we know the composition of N-butane, right? N-butane in distillate as well as feed, then we have to do the material balance for N-butane, right? So I'm writing N-butane balance, right? Balance, right? So it's mole fraction in the feed, right? Mole fraction in the feed is 37%, right? And all are in the mole percentage. All composition are in mole percentage. That is already mentioned in problem statement, right? And the top D distillate contain 95% N-butane. So this 0.95, right? 0.95, right? So doing n butane balance in the feed, it is 37%, so it is 0.35, and total, sorry, 37, sorry, 37, right? So it is multiply by multiply by total flow rate, that is 4750, right, is equal to D, right? D multiply by, right, multiply by its composition, that is 0.95 mole fraction, sorry, right, plus, so in the bottom, okay, it is already mentioned that in this bottom product contains 570 N butane mole per hour, 570, right, 570. So the flow rate of N butane in residue is given directly, right, given directly, because we are doing N butane balance, right? So this should be 570, right? So this is the flow rate of N butane in feed. This is the flow rate of, right, flow rate of N butane in distillate and in residue, right? So from that you will get D is equal to, now only the unknown parameter is D. So D is equal to, right, 1250, right, 1250, right, mole per hour, right? It is the distillate flow rate, right? Distillate flow rate, right? So here now F is equal to, right, D plus W, imply that, right, F is 4750, which is equal to D 1250, right, plus W, right, W. So W will be, right, from this W will be 3500, right, mole per hour, right? So this is a distillate flow rate, right? And this is the residue flow rate, right? Residue flow rate. Now let me write, let me make a table where we can find the feed composition, feed flow rate, right, distillate composition, distillate flow rate, and residue composition and residue flow rate, right? So composition, right, N butane, right, then I pentane, isopentane, right, then N pentane, then N hexane, right, N hexane, right? So in this feed, in the feed, right, feed, right, in the feed, then we have a distillate, right, then we have residue. Right? Right? So feed composition is, let's say here a mole percentage, uh, mole percentage, when we divide this, then molar flow rate, right? Mole per hour, right? So mole percentage is, right? Mole percent is 37, right? 37 percentage for N-butane, right? 32% for isopentane, right? Then 21%, right? 21% is for N-pentane and 10% is for N-hexane. So this is total is 100%, right? 100%. So now molar flow rate. So feed rate is, right, 4750, right? So you multiply by this fraction. So if you multiply by 0.737, sorry, 37, right? 0.37, right? 37, then you will get this is equal to at 17, right? 1757.5. Right? So this is equal to 1757.5. Similarly, you get 0.32 multiplied by this 4750, right? So you will get 1520, right? 1520, right? You multiply by this 4750 with 0.21, then you will get this is equal to 9 and 9 7.5, and this is equal to 0.1, which is 475 multiplied by 4750 multiplied by 0.1, 10% means 0.1. So 1 0 that will be removed, right? Then it is 475, right? 475, and this is a total. Total is nothing but 4750, right? 4750, right? Now in the distillate, right? Again we distillate, we can determine mole percent, right? Mole percent, and right, mole percent and mole per hour, right? So in the distillate, mole percent, okay, require is 95, right? 95%, right? What is the flow rate of distillate? We have already calculated. The flow rate of distillate is 1250, right? 1250, right? So it is 1250 multiplied by 0.95, right? So let me write here 1250 multiplied by 0.95. Then you will get this is equal to, right, 1187.5, right? And distillate, in the distillate, this I-pentane require is 5%, right? 5%. So it is 1250 multiplied by 0.05, right? Multiply by 0.05. You will get this is 62.5. And in distillate, no N-pentane and N-hexane is required. So the dash dash, right? In distillate, no N-pentane or N-hexane is required. Only in distillate N-butane and I-pentane, right? We want, right? So this remaining two components, N-pentane and N-hexane, okay, that will be go in residue, or is obtained in residue, right? So now residue, in the residue again we have a molar flow rate, right? Mole percent, and here we have a molar flow rate, is mole per hour, right? Mole per hour, right? So first we need to determine what is the mole percentage, right? Now molar flow rate of N-butane in residue, right, is 570, right? 570, okay. So if we divide 570, right, 570, right? I am writing here 570 divided by, this is the molar flow rate of N-butane, right? N-butane divided by total flow rate of residue. Total flow rate of residue 3500. Residue में कितना flow rate है? 3500 W, right? So moles of the flow rate of molar flow rate of N-butane divided by total flow rate of residue. So it will give me this percentage, which is 16.3. Actually, this you will get this as a, let me write it, 0.163. Right? This is the mole fraction MF, but percentage that will be 16.3 percentage. Right? 16.3 percentage. Right? So let me write here. This is 16.3 percentage. Right? Now, this pentane, N-pentane. So let's skip this I-pentane for a moment. Right? Let's skip. Right? And mole. This is also given 570. Right? 570. Right? 570. Now, for a moment, let's skip the I-pentane. Right? Now for the N-pentane, right? N-pentane, there is no N-pentane present in distillate. That means all the present N-pentane will be found in residue, right? So this will be the 997.5, right? 997.5, right? If you divide 997.5 divided by 3500, right? 3500, then you will get, this is equal to, right, 28.5, right? This is 997.5 divided by 3500. That will you get 0.385, right? Right? Now for, sorry, this is a not 385 but 285. I'm sorry. It is 285. Right? This is a fraction. So if it is 28.5%, right? Right? Similarly for N-hexane. Right? Similarly for N-hexane, it is 475, right? 475. So 475 divided by 3500, which is equal to 0 0.0, sorry, 0 point and 136. So this is 13.6 percentage. This is in percentage, right? Percentage. So now, what is the flow rate of I-pentane? Right? So this is the residue. So residue flow rate is, right? Residue flow rate is total flow rate 3500. Distillate flow rate is 1250. Right? 1250. Right? So if you subtract this 570, 997.5 and 475 from 3500, and then it will be 1457.5. है ये आपका क्या होगा आइसोपेंटेन का फ्लो रेट. तो अगर आप उसको 3500 से आप डिवाइड करोगे तो आपको उसको फ्रैक्शन मिलेगी और फ्रैक्शन को आप 100 से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे फ्रैक्शन को तो आपको ये मोल परसेंटेज मिलेगा. राइट? ओके. सो 1457.5 divided by 3500, then you will get this 0.416, which is equal to 41.6%. Right? 41.6%. And summation of this mole percent is equal to 100 percentage. Right? Again, here in distillate also it is 100 percentage. And so all these are mole percent. Okay, this is a moles per hour. Right? Moles per hour. Right? So we did the material balance. Right? Now, in our problem statement, we have to determine the minimum reflux ratio. Right? First, right? Minimum reflux ratio. Right? Now, generally, this column, right? Column is distillate is always at dew point temperature. Right? This top product is always at, this is the liquid. Liquid is always at dew point temperature. Right? So not liquid, but vapor leaving this column is always at a dew point. Right? Dew point, right? And this is always liquid is always at bubble point. Right? Let's first see for this dew point. Top product. Right? So at dew point. At dew point. Right? So top temperature, right? Top temperature is equal to dew point, right? Dew point temperature, right? And at dew point, right? We know that summation of yi and yi into pt divided by p into vi, right, is equal to 1. That is equal to 1. Right? That I think you already studied in thermodynamics. All right. So this is the top temperature, right? So this is for top part. Right? And in top product, right? Top product contains two components, right? Top product contains two components, right? That is N-butane and I-pentane, right? N-pentane, right? And N-butane is 95%. And this is 5%, right? 5%. All right. So we have this total pressure, right? Total pressure is 2 atmosphere, right? It is mentioned in problem statement, right? And it is constant. So we can write summation of, right, summation of yi divided by p v, vapor pressure of individual component, multiply by 2. This is total pressure. I have taken common. This is should be equal to 1, right? Now yi for the individual component. Let's say for N-butane, so it is 95%. So fraction is mole fraction is 0.95 divided by vapor pressure of, let's say, N-butane, N before N-butane, and plus uh, 0.05, right? So this is for I-pentane, right? Divided by vapor pressure of isopentane, right? Isopentane, right? So this is for uh, uh, N-butane. This is for I-pentane, right? Into 2 should be 1, right? It should be 1, right? Now this PV and PVIP, that is vapor pressure, can be calculated using Antonov equation that we have already seen in first problem. All right. Now for the N-butane, for N-butane, right? We can write Antonov equation as ln and ln P V, right? NB is equal to 15.6782 minus 2154.9, right, divided by T minus 40.05, right? 40.05, right? And for I-pen, where same, okay, this is in at torr, and KT is in Kelvin, right? And for I-pentane, for at I-pentane, right? We write ln vapor pressure of isopentane. Now this is equal to, right, 15.6338, 15.6338 minus 2348 at 2348.67 divided by T minus 40.05 at 40.05, right? Now again, this is a trial and error method, right? Trial and error method, right? You select this temperature in the Kelvin, right? Kelvin, right? Select temperature in Kelvin, right? In both the equations, right? Determine this vapor pressure, right? Vapor pressure of N-butane, right? Vapor pressure of N-butane. Then determine vapor pressure of isopentane, right? Then substitute here, right? Substitute here. Then this left hand side should be right hand side, right? This left hand side should be right hand side, right? So I'm writing by trial and error method, right? By right? Trial and error method, trial and error, right? At T is equal to, at T is equal to 295 Kelvin, right? 295 Kelvin, right? Then you will get, if you substitute T is equal to 295, right, in both equation, right? Then you will get this P B N B, vapor pressure of N butane, which is equal to, right, 1650 torr. You convert torr into the atmosphere, and it is 2.17 atmosphere, right? Then vapor pressure of isopentane you will get at 6, right, 15 torr, right, torr, which is equal to 0.8 atmosphere, right? 0.5 of atmosphere, right? And if you substitute here, right? If you substitute here, let's say this is equation number 1, right? Equation number 1, right? Then put in 1, right? Okay. So substitute in equation 1, right? Substitute in equation 1, right? Put, let me write here, put in 1 in equation 1. Then we have, right, 0.95 divided by vapor pressure of N-butane, that is 2.17, plus 0.05 divided by 0.8, right, multiply by 2, right, which is equal to 1, right, equal to 1. Okay, that means dew point temperature is 295 Kelvin. So let me write a top temperature, right? Top temperature, which is nothing but the dew point temperature, right? Temperature, right? Equal to, right, 22, sorry, 295 Kelvin, which is equal to 22 degree centigrade. All right. Now, residue is, or bottom product is always at bubble point, right? Residue is always at bubble point, right? Residue is always at its bubble point, right? Bubble point, right? So at bubble point, right, we know that, summation of xi, right, into P individual saturated pressure, P sat, which is saturated pressure, that is the vapor pressure, right, is equal to PT, right, is equal to PT. So you must be studied, okay, you must be studied in thermodynamics, right? Thermodynamics, right? So now in the residue we have four components. See here, in the residue we have four components, right? All these four components in this residue, right? This is the residue. And these are four components, right? Having different composition, right? Mole percent 16.3, then 14.3, 41.6, right? So these are the mole percent, right? So you divide by 100, then you will get mole fraction. Okay, so I am putting this, right, into this equation, right? Mole percent, mole fraction. It is 16.3. That means 0.163. Right? This is xi, right? So this will be uh, 0.163. That is for n-butane in multiply by vapor pressure of PV n-butane, right, plus 41.6. So it is 0.416 mole fraction, right? Isopentane, then PV isopentane, right? Then plus 4 n-pentane. Excuse me. Right? So sorry for interrupt you, right? Now third component in the bottom product is n-pentane, right? And the mole percentage is 28.5. So mole fraction is 0. It is 0.258, 0.285, not 258, 285 into vapor pressure of PV n-pentane plus mole fraction of n-hexane, right? That is 0.136 into vapor pressure of n-hexane, and this should be equal to total pressure PT, that is 2 atmosphere, right? 2 atmosphere. So now here we have an Antoine equation to determine vapor pressure of n-butane and vapor pressure of isopentane, right? But for n-pentane and n-hexane, right, Antoine equation is given as, right, for n-pentane, for right, n-pentane, right, we have ln PV, vapor pressure of n-pentane, which is equal to at 15.8333, right, minus 2477.07 divided by T minus at 39.94, right? And for n hexane, right? For n hexane, and for n hexane, right? We have ln vapor pressure of at n hexane is equal to 15.8366, that's minus 2697.55 divided by t minus 48.78, right? 78, right? Where again t is in the Kelvin in both equation, right? And this vapor pressure in torr, right? So we have to select the temperature by trial and error, right? By trial and error, right? We have to choose the temperature such that once we get this PV, vapor pressure of all these component, right? All the component, right? And if we substitute here in this equation, right? Then it should be this left hand side should be right hand side, right? Right hand side, right? So by trial and error method, again this is the trial and error method, right? By trial and error method, trial and error, right? At T is equal to at 47 degrees centigrade, that is equal to 3, right? 20 Kelvin. So if you substitute 320 Kelvin here, right, then you will get this vapor pressure of, right, vapor pressure of PV, right, and butane, which is equal to 3403.3 torr, right? Then P vapor pressure of isopentane is equal to at 13, right, 99.95 torr. Let me write in atmosphere also. This is 4.478 atmosphere, and it is 1.842 atmosphere, right? Then vapor pressure of n pentane is equal to at 1084.1 torr. This is equal to 1.426 atmosphere. This is 6, right? And vapor pressure of n hexane, right? Vapor pressure of n hexane equal to at 361.6 torr, right? Which is equal to 0.476 atmosphere, right? Atmosphere, right? So if you substitute in let's say, right, put in equation, let's say 2. So let's we take this is the equation number 2. Which one? Let's say this is the equation number 2. and this is equation 2. Right? Put all this vapor pressure value here. Then you will get this left hand side is equal to right hand side, right? That is equal to 2, right? So put in equation, right? Then we have left hand side is equal to right hand side is equal to 2. What does it mean? Bubble point, right? Temperature, right? Temperature which is equal to 47 degree centigrade, right? Centigrade, right? Now in this equation, right? In this equation, there is underwood equation. Which are these two equations I already mentioned? Yes, these two equations we require the relative volatility of individual component with respect to heavy key component. अगर आप ये देखोगे अल्फा आई, दैट मींस ये अल्फा आई क्या है कि रिलेटिव वॉलिटी है इंडिविजुअल कंपोनेंट की, वो विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हेवी की कंपोनेंट, राइट? हेवी की कंपोनेंट के हिसाब से कितनी है, कितनी है वो है आपका, ठीक है? सो लेट मी राइट नाउ वी विल determine this alpha I, and alpha I, right? So I am making a table same as this composition and flow rate, right? Composition and flow rate, right? Right now let me write component, right? Let me write component. Okay, because we know that we have to determine the relativity, right? We have alpha, we should have alpha average, right? We should have alpha average. So what we do, we will determine the relative volatility at top and bottom, right? Top and bottom. All right. So here component is N-butane, right? Then I-pentane, right? Then N-pentane, right? Then N-hexane, right? N-hexane, right?
સર આટલું રાખો જોશે.
નહીં જેને જવું હોય લીવ થઈ શકે મને એટેન્ડન્સ આપીને, રાઈટ? બાકી આજે તો કમ્પ્લીટ કરવું જ પડશે કારણ કે ઓલરેડી આપણે પાછળ છીએ.
तो अटेंडेंस ले लियो ना सर.
ओके, आई एम टेकिंग अटेंडेंस. होगा जिसको मुझे जाना है वो जा सकते हैं, राइट? सो मैं अटेंडेंस ले लेता हूँ.
सर अटेंडेंस તમે સ્ક્રીનશોટ લ્યો છો કે કઈ રીતે?
स्क्रीनशॉट.
ओके सर લઈ લ્યો પછી हम નીકળી.
ओके, आई हैव टेकन अ स्क्रीनशॉट. जिसको जाना है वो जा सकता है.
ओके सर બીજું કઈ નહીં, જમવાનું થઈ ગયું हिंदी.
नहीं, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं. मैं इसलिए कि मैं अभी वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करके फिर आप ये देख पाओगे, इसलिए मुझे रिकॉर्ड करना पड़ेगा.
ओके 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 सर कोई बात नहीं. चलो सर, हर हर महादेव, नमस्कार, मिलते हैं बाद में.
ओके. All right. So this is the average velocity, right? We have to determine the average relative volatility, right? So let's say because see at the top and bottom the temperature are different, so relative volatility is different. So we will then take average relative volatility, right? So at the top alpha at 22 degrees centigrade, because we know that volatility, right? Relative volatility, let me write here, relative volatility, right, is equal to in binary mixture, it is vapor pressure of A to vapor pressure of B right? So alpha at 20, but in our case, right, alpha I, right, alpha I is nothing but right here हमारे केस में क्या होगा कि वेपर, right, vapor pressure of I component divided by vapor pressure of right, of heavy key component, right, heavy key, right, heavy key component, right? And in our case I pentane, right, I pentane is the heavy key component, right, heavy key component, ठीक है? So यहाँ क्या आएगा आपका अल्फा at 22, alpha at 22 you will get this is equal to vapor pressure of N is 2.17 atmosphere divided by heavy key component, right, उसका vapor pressure है 0.8 atmosphere. So this will be your 2.7125. Okay, then it will be for I component is I component itself pentane. So 0.8 divided by 0.8, which is equal to 1. Right, 1. Okay. So right now at the 22, that is at top, right, at top, right. So at the top N pentane and N hexane is not given, right, not given, right. But we can also determine, let's do later it. We will do this later, right? Now here we can have alpha at bottom. Okay, so at bottom, alpha at 47 degrees centigrade, and this is equal to vapor pressure of PV of individual component divided by vapor pressure of heavy key component HK, right, heavy key component, right. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा आपका बॉटम में कितना प्रेशर आया था हमें, ओके, यहाँ पे बॉटम में कितना प्रेशर आया था, अभी हमने कैलकुलेट किया, कितना था 4.417 एटमॉस्फेयर डिवाइडेड बाय हैवी की कंपोनेंट कौन सा है, हैवी ये वाला है आइसोपेंटेन, डिवाइडेड बाय 1.842, right? So let me write here, right, 4.478 divided by 1.842, and this is equal to 2.43. So here we have 1.842 again divided by 1.842, which is equal to 1, right? So for N pentane, it is, what is the pressure, let me see here, it is 1.426, 1.426, right? So it is 1.426 divided by 1.842, which is equal to 0.77, right? And for n-hexane, the vapor pressure is n-hexane, vapor pressure is 0.476 atmosphere. So here it is 0.476, right? Divided by vapor pressure of heavy key component, it is 1.842, and this is equal to 0.258, right? 0.258, right? Now this is the average, right? Average relative volatility. Okay, sorry, again here we have to determine what is the relative volatility at 22 degrees centigrade, right? So okay, what you do, you can we have an Antoine equation, right? We have an Antoine equation here for n-pentane and n-hexane. So what you do, you substitute temperature here. And if you substitute here, right, that is the 47 centigrade, which is I think 320 Kelvin, right? Yes, 320. No, sorry, no 47, because this is at top, right? At top, right? And so at top temperature is 22 degrees centigrade at top. So convert this 22 into Kelvin. I think it is equal to 295 Kelvin. So substitute 295 Kelvin here, right, to determine the vapor pressure in torr and then atmosphere, right? Atmosphere, right? So let me write here, write the values if I have, right? So here I'm writing let's at the bottom itself, right? So at top, right? At top, right? At 20 T is equal to 22 degrees centigrade, which is equal to 295 Kelvin. Right? We will get, right, ln vapor pressure of n-pentane is equal to vapor pressure of n-pentane is equal to ln, right, 6.121. So imply that, right, PV NP, vapor pressure of n-pentane, is equal to 455.586 torr, and this is equal to 0.6 atmosphere, right? And we also get ln P vapor pressure of n-hexane equal to, right, equal to 4.881. Imply that PVNH is equal to, right, 131.73 torr, which is equal to 0.173 atmosphere, right? Atmosphere, right? So now this becomes relative volatility becomes 0.6 divided by 0.8, right? 0.6 divided by 0.8, which is equal to 0.75. This is equal to 0.75, right? And 0.173 divided by 0.8 is equal to 0.216. This is equal to, right? So we have determined the relative volatility at top and bottom temperature, right? And in this equation, we require the average relative volatility, right? Alpha average. So let me write here alpha average equal to under root, right? Alpha, right? At top multiply by alpha, right? At bottom. All right. So so this is the you multiply these two and take the under root. Okay. Then you will get this is equal to 2.567. Right? Then this is 1, right? And this is 0.762, and this is last one is 0.236, right? 236, right? So now we have determined the relative volatility, right? Now using Underwood equation, and using Underwood equation, right? Underwood equation, right? Summation of, right, alpha I, right, into xid divided by alpha I minus b constant is equal to Rm plus 1 and summation of, right, alpha I into zif divided by alpha I minus b is equal to 1 minus q, right? 1 minus q, right? So in this equation we also required q. So let's determine what is the value of q, right? Now in the problem statement it is mentioned that, right, it is mentioned that feed mixture contains, right, feed contains 20% vapor. You can see that feed is 20% bimole vapor, right? Vapor 29%, right? So now q is equal to, right, we know that equation of q, that q is equal to, right, q is equal to, right, hg minus hf, right? Enthalpy of vapor minus enthalpy of feed divided by latent rate of vaporization, or we can also write enthalpy of this vapor minus enthalpy of liquid, right? So here hf is equal to, right, hf enthalpy of feed, it contains 25% vapor, right? So we will have 0.25 vapor, that is multiply by hg, right, enthalpy of vapor, plus 0.75 then enthalpy of liquid multiply by HL, right? HL. So we can substitute here, right? Instead of HF we can write this, right? So Q is equal to Hg minus 0.25 at Hg, right? Right? So this is the negative, right? This is the positive. So if you remove this bracket, then you will give negative. So it is 0.75, right? 0.75 HL, right? Divided by That's Hg minus HL. So this is equal to, now 1 minus 0.25 Hg. So it is 0.75 Hg minus 0.75 HL divided by Hg minus HL. So you can take 0.7 common. This is equal to 0.75, right? Hg minus HL divided by Hg minus HL. So this Hg minus HL, that will get cancelled out. So we will get Q is equal to 0.75. Right? Q is equal to 0.75. Right? So you substitute here. And you substitute here in Underwood's equation, right? Then we have, right? Now we have that summation of that alpha I ZIF divided by alpha I minus V is equal to Q, sorry, Q 1 minus Q, sorry, is 1 minus Q, which is equal to 1 minus 0.75, which is equal to 0.25, right? 0.25. Right? Now this is summation of right, multiplication of individual relative volatility into individual mole fraction in feed. This is IF, that means in feed, right? So let me write this, right? For the n butane, it is relative volatility 2.567 multiplied by its mole fraction in feed. This is 0.37. This is in feed divided by 2.567 minus V. This is for one component, plus now for isopentane, right? It is 1, relative volatility is 1, and mole fraction in feed is 0.32 divided by, right, 1 minus V plus 0.762 divided by, multiply by mole fraction in feed, right? For N pentane, it is 0.21 divided by 0.762 minus V at plus 0.236, right? Multiply by 0.1 divided by 0.236 minus V. This is equal to 0.25, right? So solving for V, right? And solving for V, well, then we get V is equal to constant. V is equal to 1.6045, right? 6045, right? And also we have equation, that we have equation at summation of alpha I into xid divided by alpha I minus b, that is equal to Rm plus 1, right? Rm plus 1, right? So this is ID is nothing but the mole fraction of I component in distillate, and in distillate we have only two components, right? That is N butane and I pentane, right? So this is equal to alpha I, right? composition of individual component, right? So for n butane it is 2.567 multiplied by its composition in distillate, which is 0.95, divided by, right, 2.567 minus, right, minus V volume, so not volume but constant V, that is 1.6045 plus, this is for n butane plus n pentane, isopentane, which is relativity is 1, multiplied by its mole fraction in distillate, which is 0.05, divided by 1 minus 1.6045 divided by, is equal to Ram plus 1, right? Rm plus 1, right? So then you will get Rm is equal to, right, Rm, which is equal to 1.45, right? 1.45. So this is the answer of problem statement 1, right? Now next step is to determine, right, you can see that next is to determine number of stages required using FUZ method. Let's see, right? Also determine number of theoretical stages by FUZ method, Penske Underwood Gilliland's method, right? So let's determine. So in under fancy equation, okay, we have to first determine reflux ratio, which we have already minimum reflux ratio that we have already determined by Underwood equation, right? Underwood equation. Then next is the to determine minimum number of stages required by Penske equation, right? Penske equation. Okay. Now Penske equation is given by, right? Penske equation is given as Nm equal to log, right, log x Lk divided by x at Hk, right, in distillate into XHK divided by x Lk in bottom product divided by log alpha Lk, right? So Lk is the light component, Hk heavy key component, right? N-butane isopentane, mole fraction in distillate, here mole fraction in bottom product, and alpha Lk is the relative volatility of light key component, right? So this is equal to log at 0.95 divided by heavy key 0.05, right? In this bottom product we have 0.416, and heavy key and light key as 0.163, right, divided by log 2.567. So this is, you will get, this is equal to 4.117, right? 4.117, right? Now we have Gilliland's equation, right? Gilliland's equation, right? We have n minus nm divided by n plus 1 equal to 1 minus exponential, right? Exponential 1 plus 55.4 psi divided by, this is divided by at 11 plus 117.2 psi, right, into psi minus 1 divided by psi raised to 0.5, right, where psi is equal to r minus rm divided by r plus 1. So this is we have calculated, we have already calculated, right? It is, I think, 1.45 something, 1.45 rm. Now what we have to choose? R, right? R. So here what we will do, we will take different R, right? We will take different R, then we will find the psi here and we substitute here, right? And we will determine the number of theoretical stages, n. Okay, so let's do that, right? Let's do that. And we have R, reflux ratio, then psi, right? Then n, number of stages, right? Number of stages. So at R is equal to, let's say 1.7. Minimum is, Rm is 1.45. Let's say slightly R slightly higher, right? 1.7. Then you will get psi is equal to 0.092. Right? This is n is equal to 10.67. Right? So if you take R is equal to 2, okay, then it is psi is equal to 0.183, and this is equal to 8.75, right? If you take 2.5, then you will get 0.3, right? And this is equal to 7.27, and then 3, you get 0.387, that is 6.52, right? Here it is 3.5, then you will get 0.445455, right? You will get 6.07, right? 6.07, right? And at the end, right? At the end, right? If I take R is equal to 4, then it is 0.509, and it is 5.76, right? 5.76. Okay, so you can see that at this point there is no much change in number of theoretical stages, n, not much change. You can see that. So here slightly change, okay, more than 1. Again here it is more than 1, right? But see here from this, right, here again slightly, I think it is around 0.7, right? Then here in between 0.5, right, 5, and here is 0.3, right? So after this point, right, after this point, right, there is no much change, right? Much change in theoretical stages, much change, right? That means you are, if you increase the reflux ratio R increase, okay, then operating cost will be increased, right? Operating cost, that will increase, right? Right? Also fixed cost is also increased, okay, plus fixed cost, right? Because to handle the more amount of liquid, you require larger diameter, right? Larger diameter, larger condenser, and larger size reboiler, right? Reboiler. So what you keep R is equal to this 3, right? R is equal to 3. Then number of theoretical stages N is equal to 6.52, right? So at R is equal to 3, right? Number of theoretical stages is equal to, right, is equal to 6.52, right? So that's it for today's lecture, right? So your attendance is already marked, right? Now you may leave. If you have any doubt, then you can ask, otherwise you may leave.